Hey ya, scuba da bow bow. We back. Breaking Entering live show. It's marketing news. We're here. It's Thursday, June 11th. We're in the studio here in New York City, and today's show is a banger, Gino. We got the Titanium Shortlist for Cannes Lions here. The owner of our presenting sponsor, Rothmans, Ken Giddon, joins the show, the Godfather, the creative duo behind Jeep's latest campaign where they're potentially giving away a car to people named George Washington. They'll join us, and at the end of the show, we will be revealing live on this show and interviewing the first ever head of growth at INNOCEAN USA. Name will be revealed. The person will be revealed on this live show at the end of the show, so stick around for that. But first, the New York Knicks are up 3-1 after completing the largest comeback in NBA Finals history. The Garden was rocking last night, Gino.
It's incredible. I heard you verbally scream when you saw the logo in the crowd of Loop, which is an ad agency based here in New York City. And just the placement, the impressions that this guy got, the founder of Loop Agency got by wearing a shirt at the game is incredible.
Yeah, so you didn't tell me my tie was all messed up.
And your collar,
good
too.
Lord. Yeah, I'm all over the place. Anyways.
I didn't know if that was a decision.
No, it was a quick setup. Let's bring in Nick Gallo, who was second row behind Jerry Seinfeld last night to talk about what it was like inside the Garden for the miracle at MSG. Nick, you can't help but smile. How are you feeling?
Yo, what's up, y'all? I'm feeling crazy. I'm still feeling crazy. I got a couple hours of sleep in, but it was a wild night.
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I screamed. I saw you on my TV, and I immediately, I was like, the advertising community needs to know about this, so we posted.
You screamed.
Yeah.
Incredible. So you were sitting right behind Jerry Seinfeld. You had some great tickets. Obviously, you're wearing the Loop hoodie, and it got a lot of screen time. I mean, absolutely. There it is.
Yeah, I got it over here. You know, we had to do it to him. Big fat logo. We had to use 2 silk screens to get it this big, but that's how we do it. You got to go big or you go home, you know?
Yeah,
Did you make those custom for the game?
No, I mean, no. Honestly, these are the Loop hoodies. It's the merch that I made since the day we launched, but this year I did iterate some new colors, and Loop / Knicks Blue was one of them.
So what was it like inside the stadium? Just like, I mean, that's one of the most electric moments in sports history. What was it like, your second row? Just bring us in the stadium right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, one thing that I'll say is that, like, no one was giving up hope at all. We were down, I don't know what, like 27, like, you know, there's a whole point of like, we're down 25 for a significant amount of time. Every 2 points, people went crazy. Like, it was, you might as well have been down 2, because like people were not giving up in Madison Square Garden at all. It was nice to see the number kind of inch smaller and smaller. But yeah, like, people were freaking out the entire time.
Yeah, I bet. And then you're sitting behind Jerry Seinfeld too. Anything?
It was supposed to be Fat Joe, and then they switched it up on him. And yeah, so we got the Seinfeld and his wife were in front for the first half, and then he slid in his son for the second half, who I absolutely smacked in the head extremely hard. He wasn't really vibing with that, but, you know, I apologized, and we moved past it.
Well, that's great, and that's what matters. At MSG, listen, it's a spectator sport unless you're, 5 feet away from the action. I think you can expect some physicality, just like the Knicks brought to the Spurs last night, right?
If you don't want to stand up, it's not my problem too. You might get whacked in the head. I don't know what to say.
Incredible. And then, like, the decision, like, did you get a lot of texts? Like, while you were there, did you even have cell service in there, knowing that you were on TV wearing your agency's branding all over?
There's a method to the madness. You know, I do it all for a reason. In the graffiti world, we call it the art of getting up, and that was the strategy going in, to get up on the screen as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't looking at my phone much, but I got over 250 text messages, over 150 Instagrams, and like over 6 existing client and new client inbounds.
So wait. So hold on. You got 6 client inbounds from this?
Yeah. Well, it's okay, insane. So how do we...
It's the best new business tool I've ever heard.
Well, let's think about, I think it might be too late for this Cannes Lions, but are we thinking case study submissions for next Cannes Lions? Where do we go from here? We need to get this thing into the award circuit.
Is this a thing? I don't know. Somebody needs to explain to me how Cannes Lion works. All we need to know is, like, there better not be a bunch of Wemby cocky ass French people out there when I go for the first time this year, or else I'm not going to vibe with that.
It's going to be on site. It's going to be on site if you're.
I mean, there's a lot of Wemby fans over there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was awesome. I can't believe it. I cannot believe you're a second row. And then when the game ends, when it finally happens, the OG, the tip in, and the win. I was almost in my head thinking people would just storm the court. Like the old NBA where people would. So what happens there? Because we see the reaction. The people can see it. You got Jerry Seinfeld right here. You got Jimmy Fallon. Everyone's mopping each other. What was it like on the scene? And then people probably didn't even want to leave.
No one left. People stormed the court. The security guards were blitzed, complaining. I saw them extremely overwhelmed. People were just inching in as they could. I saw Gary Vee, and I saw him in the cut fucking grab his kid. He threw his kid on the court. People were not leaving and they were bum rushing for sure. I kind of felt bad. Like I jumped around, we gave a hug, and then I was like, I'm just gonna chill right here. But yeah, like, maybe 30 minutes in, they started playing New York, New York, everyone's singing. And then it didn't stop. Outside, it was even more chaos.
And then Nick, you've been around New York. You've been around New York and have been with the city and know what it's like around here. Yeah, your entire life. Put this up rank this moment, like just last night, and especially seeing all the reaction in the streets. I can't even imagine what it will be like. I'm not going to say anything about outcomes for Saturday night, but think about rank this moment for the city of New York.
I mean, this has got to be up there, right? This is like top 3 for sure. I mean, you look at the 90s and like, the Knicks had a sick team and Ewing and everyone, and we were all a bit way younger then, but like, they were close twice in the 90s, but don't want to jinx it, but this is the one.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is the one. It has to be. There's no option for it not to be.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And then the last thing before we let you go, Nick, Svaya in the LinkedIn comment section said, Loop X Knicks X B movie hoodie when?
Yeah. Now, let's do it. Let's ship it.
We'll ship it. We got to get Seinfeld. If you get tickets again behind Seinfeld, just lightly pitch that to him, and we might be able to make that happen. But Nick Gallo, thank you so much.
Big win for the Knicks, and also a big win for Loop.
Thank you, Nick.
Big win for Loop. Big win for the Knicks. Yo, have a good one, y'all. Good to see y'all.
Energy.
Amazing.
There's our intro again.
There's our intro. Just in case you missed it, we're back. We're back again, going on with the rest of the show. But that was pretty cool. You got an advertising agency executive. He's sitting second row. Of course he's going to wear
Rep the brand. A lot of agency folks forget about like repping your own brand or working on your website or developing those materials. This is a small win that you can learn from. Nicely done.
I mean, yeah, if you're, the media buy, people, so now I have to ask you. I don't know how I didn't want to ask how he got the tickets or anything like that, but now you think if you get 6 inbound clients from it,
you make your money back.
The price of that ticket, I don't know what the price is, but you think about the average project retainer.
Already paid itself. Already paid itself. If a deal closes, it pays itself.
So maybe we'll see more of this. Maybe we'll see more people.
I mean, all these companies have these box suites. All these corporate box suites. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but
it works.
It's sports. It just goes to show that sports. Why is it such an attractive sponsorship thing for brands to get involved with? It's because of exactly what you saw last night. I mean, the few things have united the city of New York like last night. You saw it in the streets. We saw it, the production crew saw it, by the way. Let's check out the production crew. They look fantastic. It's Casual Thursday.
Presented by Rothmans here, looking great behind the camera here.
Yeah, look at them. And they saw it too. We were talking behind the stage of their experience. They're like, yeah, everyone's screaming, couldn't sleep last night. If you're in New York, you didn't sleep last night. But that's the price you pay for one of the biggest moments in New York City history. Gino, shall we get on with the rest of the show?
Yeah, the biggest moment in ad trade news, the world famous 2-minute drill starts right now.
All right, our first story, 2 minutes each story. First one, Nike Rip the Script Canada. Remember Rip the Script from Nike, their epic 6-minute film, and we knew that there would be more to come from it. This is one of the first that we're seeing, and it's from Canada. Canada, as we know, is one of the host countries for the FIFA World Cup. So they bring in Dylan Brooks, known villain in the NBA world, to be the pilot, welcoming everyone to Canada, but playing the villain role, of course. He's saying, welcome to Canada, but also we're going to kind of kick your ass. It's kind of like
we'll take care of you.
Yeah, so what do you think about this, Nike embracing the villain role?
Absolutely. They've been doing this for a while now. They're in their villain era for sure, and it's just fun. It's a fun character to play here. When we're looking at this campaign now, getting really amped up about these separate little ads that will be coming out from the different countries that are going to be participating in the World Cup, Jack.
Yeah, and this is what we were kind of excited about, I think, more so from the Nike campaign. What could they do with this cast of characters that they brought on for the film? I don't think Dylan Brooks was in the actual hero massive film,
right?
But he is a Nike athlete, and he's Canadian, and he's a villain. So with all those things considered, seems like they kind of wrote the script for someone like Dylan Brooks, famous Canadian athlete.
I'm curious if there is a Wide in Canada, Wide in Toronto.
It was done by Wide in Toronto.
So smart to tap into to the local market there to actually create something that's authentic, speaks to them, because you can see some issues to be had if it's just like the Wyden Portland office doing all of that.
Well, this is why you go global. The Wyden Toronto crew is fantastic, by the way. Caroline Friesen, shout out, one of the creators over in at Wyden Toronto. But they do great work. And then like things like this. You remember, like Toronto versus the LA Dodgers in the World Series, and then the LA. So it's so interesting because LA wins the World Series, so Nike puts out the LA Dodgers Nike social post. But the Toronto office had one ready to go.
Of course,
if Toronto were to win, I think it went to Game 7. So it was one or the other. So you can imagine how interesting that would be to work at Wyden, the LA versus Toronto.
Totally.
Toyota is getting into the branded entertainment game here with Kareem Rama. Kareem Rama, of course, Subway Takes. We went to his launch party for Keep the Meter Running, big time personality, YouTube talk show for Toyota, and it's done by Portal A, friends of the program. Portal A doing the most when it comes to YouTube premium content, and they show up yet again, bringing Kareem with Toyota for a talk show.
Yeah, also Saatchi and Saatchi worked on this, but shout out to Portal A, friends of the program. It's called Pit Stop Tonight. So Toyota is coming to Kareem. They came together, and Kareem is hosting. He's interviewing late night style Toyota NASCAR drivers. So you got like Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, and what's fun about this is they build the set each episode with a pit crew. Very quickly. So nice little spin here. Kareem was asked, are you a NASCAR fan? He goes, no, like not really. And then there you go. Toyota said, perfect, because that's who we're trying to target, people that are not currently fans of NASCAR. So he can bring in that new audience here.
Oh, it's always a fun like comedic dynamic. If he's going to be interviewing like Bubba Wallace, like NASCAR drivers, you have someone that knows nothing, and they just ask probably like dumb questions, and like that's great.
It's kind of like how we make a living.
That's kind of our whole shtick.
Yeah,
Kareem stealing our flow, bar for bar.
And I guess I'll tee you up. What does this mean for like content creators, Jack, in 15 seconds? Like the future.
Well, it's like
it's
a talk show. I think Kareem Rama at this point, especially with younger audiences, is a more known cultural figure than like a late night talk show host.
Yep.
For the upcoming audience. So it's smart by Toyota, more branded entertainment. Will this work? We'll see, but it's a big one from Portal A. Big time agency doing a ton of great YouTube stuff.
PNC, new campaign here made by Arnold. Their Brilliantly Boring advice campaign. Brilliantly Boring is a platform since 1865. Jack, you like this spot.
I love it. Do you mind? Can we play this with audio just for one of the like different vignettes, just to give people a sense of what this is? Yeah. So this.
Tomorrow, we march.
You do know it gets crazy cold there, right? Like crazy cold.
That
feels like a bit of an overreaction.
So you kind of get the gist. It's famously horrific events that would have benefited from just simple advice going into it, like Napoleon. It gets cold in Russia. It might not be the best idea to march there, but I am at the point where I see some work done by Arnold Worldwide. It's a must-watch for me because their comedy is so good. Yep. They do Dr. Rick for Progressive. I think that one's like the biggest one for me that I just think is hilarious. But Arnold Worldwide does funny stuff, and it hits me personally. I laugh at it. I can't speak for the entire universe, but my experience is that when I see Arnold Worldwide worked on something, I kind of get ready to laugh.
And when was the last time you laughed at a bank ad?
Right. None. I can't think of one.
Never.
Rarely are they leaning into comedy.
Rarely.
Like,
none of that are memorable to us with unaided recall. So there's something to be said here.
But don't you think the Dr. Rick Progressive commercials, I think that those are so funny.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think like
they're real. They're based off real scenarios, real human scenarios here. And what I like about this one is so simple. Right. It's just so easy. They send a time traveler back to all these events in history, these tragedies, and it could have been fixed with just one quick thing here. That works for me, Jack.
Yeah, and you could do this for it reminds me of like Uber Eats, Footballs for Food,
right,
with the conspiracies.
Now you got a platform.
Yeah, now you got a platform. Forever. Let's do it forever. Come on. All right, Gino, this one's pretty heavy. Yes. South African newspaper ad is going viral it's a blood-soaked newspaper, and pretty much you see what looks like a mistake or a misprint or blood on the newspaper, and as you flip through it, it gets smaller and smaller, and it's meant to represent menstruation with female health. We'll have Ellie here maybe help us out with explaining why this ad works for the female and the women out there.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's really heavy stuff, but it's profound, and I think it really hits home when you see the statistic come up at the end. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but there is some number that's like, X amount of young girls don't have access to proper sanitary products. So they're using things like newspapers in place of a pad or a tampon. And placing this spot in a newspaper where you're getting not necessarily young girls reading it, but people who have the power to actually, make an impact and change the way that this system is set up, and giving young girls access to proper sanitary products, I think is really smart.
Yeah, it's bringing more attention to the conversation. And it truly, one of those things where you have a really, really creative idea and then a brave sort of publisher to, like, the fact that the newspaper did this, where, it obviously does draw attention to that thing and maybe away from like the actual like article and content, but it's for a good reason. So this one is making the rounds on the internet, and of course really accomplishes its goal of
shout out to Joe
100%.
Public, the agency that came up with this idea. It took months for them to get this right, and they did it very well.
Yeah.
And we're talking about
Down
it. So
with
nice
the
job to
pink
them.
tax.
Down with the pink tax. Next up, Titanium Lion Shortlist is revealed. This is one of the most important awards you can win in the advertising and creative world, Gino. Shaka Sabani is the jury president. She was on this show talking about it a few weeks ago. Anything stick out to you here? There's 18 that are shortlisted.
Yeah, there's a couple. I haven't watched them all transparently, so I have to go back. And there's some that we just talked about too on our Can It Win segment with Columbia. However, backing things up, remember that this is for the work that changes the world, essentially. Pushes creativity. It's just like limitless. Dan Wyden, Titanium Lion. And when I was looking at a couple of these, I watched Vehicle of Hope, which was where they basically took Pope Francis's Pope Mobile and converted it into like a little children's like aid center, like where you can like get like shots and flus, vaccines, and they drove it through the Gaza Strip, or that was the goal of that. So very heavy stuff. Like that's kind of the stuff that we saw last year. Was Access 3 Words, which added for insurance policy and domestic violence. So if you are a victim of domestic violence, they would rehouse you and change the policy, take care of you. That's what we're going to be keeping your eye out for. What you got to keep an eye out for is the chills factor and the spread of the idea and how it actually solved that issue. So that Vehicle of Hope is one on my list. SOS POS is interesting. In Peru, people are mugging phones. So if you get mugged on your phone, or somebody steals your phone, you can't cancel your bank account. So you would go to a retailer, and they basically changed the POS system where you put in your information and automatically cancels your bank account.
Oh, interesting.
It's really cool.
So like how Toast.
Yes, you were doing that?
Yeah, where like you do the tap to pay, like every single bodega, every single store has it. And so you could just cancel it from there.
I just take your phone, you run into a bodega, and then you would take care of it. Automatically cancels that, so that fixes the problem. Missing managers too is one to keep an eye out for. Xbox, Sky Sports, basically getting more female representation.
Xbox Missing Manager, I think it was.
Missing Managers.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, very good.
Those are three that I've seen. It's got that chill factor.
It is. The Titanium Lion it's a chill factor situation. It does tend to lean into really like the purpose-driven work, of course, as it should. I think if you're really creating impact in society, that's kind of like the best thing you can do.
The best advertising can be.
Right, that's right. So that was the 2-minute drill. We're going to get on with the rest of the show. We got some big interviews coming up. Before we jump into the interviews and the ads, or the ad read that we're going to do, I'm going to intro what's going to happen later in the show, because the creative director duo at Highdive is going to join us to talk about how they're potentially going to be giving away a free Jeep to anyone named George Washington as a result of the World Cup. What? That's crazy. You'll have to wait to find out more. And then at the end of the show, we are live on this show revealing who the new head of growth is for INNOCEAN USA. So we'll be joined by that person alongside Leslie Barrett, the president of INNOCEAN.
Rumor has it the agency doesn't even know. They're going to find out by watching this. Can you imagine?
Can you imagine? But before that, let's go into an ad read, Gino.
Shout out to our presenting sponsor. You've seen them. You know their logo. It's been at the top of all of our content for almost a month now. Shout out to our sponsor, Rothmans. Rothmans is a fourth-generation, family-owned, independent menswear store celebrating 100 years in New York City. Their core belief is shopping should feel human, collaborative, and fun, Jack.
Yeah, they're perfect for people walk in not knowing what you want and leave feeling like the best version of themselves. Sometimes fashion can be intimidating, for me at least, but when we walked into the store, all the stress went away. Check out Rothmans for all your big life moments, from first dates to weddings and everything in between. Go check them out in one of their New York City area locations. We prefer the Union Square flagship store. Mention Breaking and Entering for 10% off. If you want to order online, use code BREAKING10 for 10% off. That's code BREAKING10. And speaking of Rothmans,
Ooh, tell them, Jack.
we are honored to welcome to the show Ken Giddon, the owner of Rothmans. Ken, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, just great. Just
Guys
great.
look great.
Well, Ken, I have to say, we've had a lot of conversations with people in real life and on the internet. Just they love Rothmans. They're talking to us. They're like, we talk about it now. You've become ingrained in the content. You're in the family. I honestly feel like I'm part of now the Rothmans family. But for you all, can you just give a little bit of background on Rothmans and your experience and what it's all about right now?
So my grandfather started the store in 1926, which means that we are now celebrating our 100th anniversary. So my grandfather's kind of a weird story. My grandfather was 12 years old, and his father was hit by a horse-drawn ice truck on the Lower East Side, and he was one of 5 kids, and he had to make some money. So he started with a push cart on the Lower East Side, and just hustled. And, he started this store, and it became it was one of the first discounters in the country. Came up with a concept of going to manufacturers and saying, give me all your extra stuff and I'll sell it off for you. And so then it became like a pretty big store in New York, became the go-to discounter in like the 50s and 60s. And it was a great operation. And then he had no succession plan. So it kind of became like an older man's store in like the 70s and 80s. And in the 1980s, it was going out of business. And my parents asked me to come down to New York. I'd been to New York like 5 times in my life, to close the business. And I had plans to go to business school. I was going to go to MIT. And my parents said, could you just come for 2 weeks and help us close this thing? So I did it for 2 weeks, and then I got this crazy idea to keep it going. And then I became a retailer. So I'm like the classic example of, I guess you would say I went from riches to rags. So I did it backwards.
I guess
It's a crazy story. It's really wild.
On that story, though, like what was the change specifically? What did you see? What did you feel when you were there attempting to close the store that turned things around for you?
It's interesting because it wasn't a time where it was cool to be an entrepreneur. And so you weren't going around at a bar and saying, I'm an entrepreneur. But I liked being my own boss. And I thought, this is an asset that really could become something. And so there was no kind of discounter for kind of younger guys. And I thought, well, let's make a run of this. So I thought it would I'd look at it for like 6 months, and then I decided to go with it. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I wasn't a fashionable guy. I didn't know anything about fashion, but I kind of got the bug and went with it. I mean, I guess I had the entrepreneurial vibe. I don't know.
Yeah,
Totally.
Well, that's what's it's just a fascinating to be around for 100 years, and especially be a part of like New York City as an institution. Now at this point, like we were talking, you guys have so much trust and people coming to, like, you're the suit guy for so many people. Yeah. And so as a brand, like, I think a lot of brands would envy being in a position where they do have that level of trust. So for you all, is there a secret sauce, or is it just a matter of just
You know, it's
showing
all
up.
about hospitality. I've been preaching this for a long time, and I feel like people are walking into my house, and you know, we love it. My brother Jim works with me. He's my partner, has been for 35 years.
Wow.
My son Will works for us now, and it's our house. It's our clubhouse. It's our barbershop. It's just where we feel comfortable, and we're people. And so, you know, I have this, I think my secret sauce is I kind of start everybody with an A. And, you know, anybody who walks in is walking in with an A. And I try and convey that to my team. And that's kind of where we go. And, you know, we were the suit guy, but now we're the casual guy too.
Right.
And we're one of the largest stores selling denim in the United States. And, you know, we started off as the guy that I envied everybody. And now we're one of the bigger, you know, kind of multi-brand stores in the country, selling all sorts of different brands. And it's super fun. It's still fun. I've been doing it for 40 years.
You've been doing it for 40 years and the business is crushing right now. And, you know, a lot of that has to do with good advertising and good marketing. So I know we know about this. I think it's time to talk about this, Jack.
This is a big reveal. I think that the advertising community is about to be woken up to some lore.
Advertising is crucial to any business. And you guys also basically came up with a concept. How many years ago was it, Ken?
I think it was about 1998.
In 1998, you had this idea to create a character, a brand mascot, if you will, called the Rothmans man. And eerily similar to something later that was revealed in the early 2000s called the Dos Equis man. That, and I will note, years later, the Dos Equis man
we're not saying anything. I'm just pulling different data points.
Let's pull up an ad that we found on Facebook here. You can't see it, Ken, I'm assuming, but I'll read it. Jack will read it to you.
The Rothmans man is fond of power tools, has infinite bandwidth, and catches tuna with his bare hands. That's the Rothmans man.
Wearing a nice shirt here, yellow background, working here. Kind of like blue collar, but also looks great here. So that reads to me very similar to the Dos Equis man, very interesting, very powerful, like can do it all, somebody you want to aspire to be. You go to Rothmans, you'll be like this person here. Ken, give us the background because this is incredible and I think we're stumbling upon something right now.
So we were using an agency called Bloom Herbstreit, and Alan Bloom and Charlie Herbstreit they pitched me on this idea, and we were always like, what makes our customers special? And so it was a little bit of a reach. I can't say it was my idea, it was their idea, and I loved it. And we ran this thing for 10 years. We even overlapped with the Dos Equis guy. And the fun part was I would just sit around and think about what do people brag about, you know, in New York. And so, you know, everyone's too, you know, stronger than everybody else or smarter than everybody else and all this kind of thing. So writing the copy was easy. I jotted down like some of the other lines we had. So I just found a few of them. The Rothmans man trains personal trainers, can explain derivatives, knows his Barolos, has adoring offspring, is stalked by supermodels, never had a cavity, blah, blah, blah. We had so many of them. We probably did 50 different versions of this. And we're not litigious, so we're not looking to figure out who came up with it or who copied who. But, you know, it's just sort of fun.
Hey, no, that's not your. It's our job.
It's our job to figure that out. Yeah, and let people decide.
That's right. I'm not saying anything either. But if I were to say something, I would say it's interesting. It's crazy because like we've talked to people now who have come up to us and said that they used to have Rothmans man posters in their bedroom. Like as kids. It was a big part of New York City culture in this campaign. So like, is there a way for you to describe the impact of just running that campaign and what you learned from doing something consistently from a marketing standpoint, from what you said, 10 years, and the lasting impact of that?
Yeah, I mean, people still ask me about that campaign and they still say, why aren't you doing it anymore? And maybe because it was taken over by somebody bigger. But it was fun. I mean, the fun part for me, I think, in this job is I'm a frustrated ad guy, and also I had no boss. So imagine an ad guy with no boss. I could do like stuff that maybe didn't make sense. I mean, we advertised, someone would pitch me something, and you're a men's store. Why don't you advertise over urinals? And we're like, hey, great idea. So we would do stuff like that. And, and we did a lot of live reads on radio, and we've done everything. We've done the New York Times, we've done the Wall Street Journal, and now we're with you guys, which we're really psyched about.
So we got to ask, why would you sponsor the Breaking and Entering live show, advertising and marketing news? We have to ask, Ken, let's go into this media buy strategy from your point of view.
All right.
Enjoying the team, being part of it.
We first heard about you because you did a some sort of event at VML, and Kim Evans is there, and she's a good friend, and she's a strategy director there. And she told me about you guys, and she said, these guys dress really poorly. No, that's not what she said. She said, these guys are great, and they're on to something. You should talk to them. And it reminds me, you remind me a lot of myself when I was starting out. You hustle, and you're documenting the hustle, and you're having fun with it. And I think I'm buying low. I think you guys are going to do great. And I look at it as, something for the future. I'm going to try to lock in my rates now before you guys become super famous.
That's right.
Of course. It means the world.
No, it's huge. Well, it's massive for us too. It feels like a great, a big partnership, and it's like the having the belief, and I think our audience senses that too. I think we're all kind of on this journey together, and so it's a massive win all around. Gino.
So Ken, you already alluded that maybe Rothmans Man will not have a reprise, but like what's next for the brand holistically? Where do you want to break into? Where do you want to grow? How can we help?
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, we don't have global ambitions. We're having so much fun with it. It's a family business, and we still want to have fun with it every day. My grandfather used to say that, don't take yourself too seriously. And that's one of the things I like about you guys. And he said, we're not curing cancer here. We're just selling pants. And I think about that every single day. And, we like bringing people into the fam, whether it's, the ESPN guys that we see that we get such a kick out of, or, just the average guy that wants to feel better about himself. So each time we add someone into the family of clients, we're happy. And, just making people feel better about how they look is what makes us happy. And so, we take it day to day, and you're getting the message out to a new group of people for us. And that's great. That's what makes us happy.
I want to ask, we're coming up a lot of advertising executives. They're going to be thinking about Cannes in about 2 weeks. So we figured this might be a good opportunity to ask you any advice, any thoughts about dressing for Cannes, because it's an interesting one. It's very hot. It's also like you want to look nice, but you don't need to like dress up all the way. So
yeah,
Ken, can you talk to us?
Because we literally had a guy email us and say, I need to come in the store and I need a few outfits. And I think he came into my Scarsdale location and got fitted up yesterday. And, it's sort of, I always think there was this weird major where I went to school called semiotics. And I didn't really know what it meant, but I dated a girl who was a semiotics major. So I had to sort of pretend. And it's the nonverbal communication of signs. So like what you're trying to say with your outfit. So if you're like the boss and you want to read cool boss or not so cool boss or tough boss, or the young entrepreneurial guys like you, I think my one tip is don't get too caught up in linen, because it sounds good and everyone's going to say, oh, get some linen stuff, but it's always wrinkled. And then when they take pictures of you, you're not going to look so good. But I'm big on like jeans and a sport coat. Don't leave that sport coat at home, because that always makes you a little dressed up. And you can't go wrong with like a great blue blazer, and I hope you guys are taking this to heart.
I'm literally writing down notes to remember this, and so I am taking it to heart. That's huge for our audience. We had a question I did want to ask about, a question from our LinkedIn chat. Someone asking about, I guess like the broader question is around thinking about like the online store presence alongside, like obviously a big reason for Rothman's success is you go in store and you get that really like white glove experience. But how are you all thinking about it? Because I'm sure you've had plenty of success online, but also you have the in-store. So just the way that things are changing and consumer behaviors change. Just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's really, I talk to so many independent retailers like ourselves across the country. And I'd be hard pressed to find one of them who actually really makes money online. Because take an example like Faherty, which is a really big brand for us. We compete with our supplier, Faherty, online. So, but they own the product a lot cheaper than we own the product. So they can also promote it a lot easier. I think for most guys like me, the online business is never going to be more than like 5% of our business. It's just we have a strategic disadvantage in it. And so stores like us have to decide whether to put a dedicated team on it. But I don't know that unless we have private label stuff, which we do have a decent amount of, it's very hard to compete with Canali, Boss, Faherty, all these guys who are great suppliers to us, but they're better at online because they can photograph everything they have in the line that year. And we have 1,000 different units. So it's hard for our online to represent the service you get in the store.
Well, that's the thing is that at Rothmans, like you buy something and you walk home with it, which isn't the case for a lot of other stores, which is great. But that's super interesting. So I mean, the fact that even coming out of COVID, unbelievable. It's so impressive to in going through and being a store so based in being in person, showing up, having COVID happen and coming out the other side of it is itself such a massive moment and achievement for you all.
For sure.
So
the key is resilience. You're gonna, in any entrepreneurial business, you're going to get knocked down so many times. It's how you get up. And we've been knocked down so many times. We've been, Superstorm Sandy, 9/11, COVID, we were looted. I mean, like everything, you just keep getting back up. And, it's a good lesson to everybody you work with too. And it's going to happen.
Yeah, I love it. Well, will you be in the Union Square location anytime this week, sir?
Yes, tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So we'll be there tomorrow. We gotta come by. We gotta come by tomorrow.
We gotta get you ready.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the day. Then.
I need another consultation to come in. So we will be in tomorrow afternoon, if that's okay.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
Great.
Thank you guys so much. Keep up the amazing work. You guys are killing it.
Thanks, Ken. Same to you. Shout out Rothmans. That's Ken Giddon, owner of Rothmans.
The best.
Amazing. What a segment.
I mean, he's got so many stories. We could talk with him for hours, but instead of talking about it online, go check it out. The Union
go
Square
talk
location.
to him in person.
Yeah.
Go ask him about fitting the ESPN broadcasters and his stories there. The
athletes.
The athletes. Adam Schefter. Ever heard of him? Look at his suit. It's a Rothman suit.
If they trust him,
yeah, you should too.
You should too.
Well, let's keep it rolling with the show. That was Ken Giddon, owner of Rothmans. Always a pleasure. Up next, Gino, what do you got?
Highdive is working with Jeep. No shocker there. They've been working with them for years. And coming up on America's 250th, the Team US in the World Cup, they got a new spot that released this morning, broken by breaking and entering news here. So before we bring on our guests, Rick Ewing and Jeremy Adams, the creative directors that wrote and helped create this spot, we want to show you the frickin' spot. So let's do it.
Come here. 250 years ago, George Washington helped America win against all odds. And this summer, if America can defy all odds on the field and win it all, the George Washingtons of America could be granted a Jeep Wrangler. That's right, American people actually legally named George Washington could receive a 2026 Jeep Wrangler, fully loaded with freedom, the tears of our opponents, and the middle finger to the metric system. Turn that volume up because we're not messing around. We're actually doing this. Look how American this office is. We bronzed an eagle. He wasn't real. And yes, that painting is historically accurate. And you know he would have driven a Jeep Wrangler if he could have. I carved this George Washington bust with my bare hands. The world may call it football, but in America, we don't. And we're like weirdly proud of that. So let's win this for George Washington. Who wrote that?
They wrote that. That's who wrote that. They wrote that. Welcome to the show. Very excited about this one. Rick, Jeremy, thank you so much. How are we feeling now that we've... I can't...
Yeah, we're feeling
You
good.
guys, what's up with you guys' hair? You guys didn't get the memo?
You didn't get
We didn't. No, we found out today that you guys were going wigs, and we were left out. So
Oh, these aren't wigs. These aren't wigs.
I legally
Oh,
changed my name to George Washington a couple days ago, so I will be going to the website now to register. And now we need the USA team to win the World Cup, and then in theory, I should be able to get a free Jeep. Am I correct on my logic here, gentlemen?
Yes,
that easy.
and it can happen for sure, right? That was sort of, and you guys look great, by the way. That was like the inspiration for this idea is just Jeep being a sponsor for America 250, not necessarily the World Cup, and us thinking about these two separate things. But then thinking about like, well, the country in America started basically almost us, not caring about the odds. And it was sort of like, well, what were the odds of George Washington crossing the Delaware? And it just kind of spun from there as this kind of fun idea that was almost so dumb, we would be dumb not to do it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I guess that's a good first question. Like working with the Jeep team, you obviously have a great relationship with them. How do you, when you're talking about these creative ideas, like it's so dumb, it's actually good. How do you go about that when it comes to like presenting to clients to make sure that everyone's on the same page that like, yes, it's dumb, but there's like insight and strategy behind it?
I mean, I think there's just a lot of trust there. Like we've been working with them for so long that I mean, you have to sell it obviously, but like they appreciate the dumb smart ideas where they're just like dead simple and you're like, we have to do this. It's also like the World Cup is such a big event. Like why not do something around it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when you guys get to wear wigs because of it. I mean,
No,
win-win.
for sure. And I think it's like that strategy lead up that you guys were talking about, like, you tell that story beforehand and it works here. And tell me about the decision for the comedian in this spot.
Yeah, Liza Schlesinger, we started working with her back last fall with a campaign where she was basically our spokesperson for the Jeep Grand Wagoneer that we had dubbed the best car to have sex in. And she was a fantastic comedian. She was the perfect person for that particular idea, but we had so much fun working with her. We've done a couple projects with her since then. And when this idea came about, we wanted, I think, as it sort of started as like a small, almost like just out of home brief from the clients. And then as we sort of talked about, could it be something a little bit bigger than that ties into the cultural moment happening with the World Cup? Our clients were fantastic. They kind of recognized, the potential of the idea. And so Eliza came in as like some sort of adding some Diet Coke to the Mentos. And just comedic flair that, having someone like with her talents just to kind of have that great sort of tonality of like, this sounds kind of funny and like we said, maybe a little bit dumb, but we're dead serious that if this happens, we believe it can. We are committed to rewarding the George Washingtons of America with the new Jeep Wrangler.
And I'm cheering for the Georges. I'm cheering for Team USA now. Now I'm invested. Like I don't sports gamble, but I kind of feel like I'm like,
if you're George Washington out there, if there's any George Washingtons out there,
You gotta get in on this.
do you know how many there are? Like I'm sure you've done your homework.
Yeah.
What's the estimation?
We have some estimates. It's like 100, maybe 600. We don't really know. Turns out it's kind of hard to figure that out without like real census data. But we're taking a gamble, like.
Well, because
why
you can't
not?
like
10 years.
Google search George Washington, the name.
You go to Facebook.
You
Go to Facebook
You know what?
and
Facebook could have worked. The phone book, we tried that. That doesn't exist.
A what?
anymore.
Phone book.
Yeah.
We went door to door.
It's an old thing they used to print.
Our account team was fantastic. They did some due diligence. Like obviously, there's, even though the chances of America winning, I think because of gambling now, you can see what our odds were, and it's maybe less than 2%. But even with that, I think we're looking at how many George Washingtons there are, and I think it's under 1,000. Maybe is where we sort of made an educated guess.
Yeah, and how many of those George Washingtons are like able to drive a car?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
right.
Yeah, we will be good.
It's
That's a great point by me.
I think that's also, this is a complicated thing. This is no walk in the park. You got to get lawyers.
Yeah, this feels like a
in,
legal-
You got to get
Oh,
into the, so you got to
You
get
would-
approvals,
You
bureaucracy.
don't want to get in that world. That
Yeah.
world is it's dense. There's a lot of legal calls, way too many legal calls. But
Yeah.
you know what? It's all above board. It's a real deal.
Do you ever get like, 'cause you're creative directors, so whoever came up with this idea, or whether it was you two, you're looking at it, it's like, oh, this is going to be a pain. Is there
Yeah,
anything else
right.
we can do?
No. It actually, we did come up with it. We were
Okay.
just like shooting the shit one day, and we're just like, why not go big? Like, why not bet on the team? And you know, when you have a legal team, you just let them figure it out.
Yeah, that's what they're there
Okay.
for. That's what they're there for. Your job is to come up with the
I guess.
crazy idea.
Yeah, I guess you guys are a real like company. You probably have a legal team.
We are the legal. We are the legal
team.
team.
No, that's not my concern.
So working on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, just to piggyback off of what Rick was saying, and that, like, the Highdive and Jeep partnership, which is, I think, been going on for almost 10 years, like, I don't know if that works with another sort of client relationship dynamic where you had that much trust built in. And it wasn't lost on us that this idea that was all about, like, trying to do something where the odds were against you. This idea was something where it was like, yeah, the odds of this happening, going out into the world that, it is today, never seemed like it was going to happen. So it was kind of a nice little, like, us sort of seeing like these sort of amazing turn of events as the clients got into it, believed in it, kept putting more and more resources towards it. It's sort of proof of us saying to America, like, yeah, I mean, we suck at soccer, but it is kind of fun to celebrate our 250th anniversary by just making this sort of bet that we can do something if we
Yeah.
just believe in it.
If you've seen the movie Semi-Pro, when he offers, I believe, $50,000 for the moonshot, and then the drunk hippie makes the shot, and so he gives him a check that says $50,000. So and like Will Ferrell's really pissed off that the guy makes the shot. I would say the best thing that could happen is if you have to give away all these Jeep cars, because that would be like infinite social content. You would the case study would say like 948 billion impressions, because you could count everyone that sees the Jeep car that was won.
sure.
So have we thought about that? Almost might be best case scenario if they win.
Like, I mean, honestly, yeah, I think it would be amazing if the US went all the way. One, like, our first time ever winning it, ever even getting to the finals. I watched them last weekend when they were in Chicago, and we barely lost to Germany. So there's a chance. There's a chance. And yeah, I'm going all in.
Yeah, that's right. Jeremy, how about you? You going all in or what?
Yeah, we did like a late night shopping search last night. We were looking for soccer gear to wear on this, and the stores were sold out. And I am unashamedly jumping on the bandwagon that is, the Jeep Wrangler. And I think, we were just stoked about this idea, as it seemed like one of those, if the US continues, and I think we'd all love to see them, continue. If something where Jeep becomes part of that conversation, just based on what happens if they keep winning, I think that was what we also kind of loved about the idea.
Yeah, well, that's okay. So that's fun. So if I'm thinking about like if we're the campaign now going into the World Cup, is there going to be more that we can expect from, like, whether it's on social or whatever? Because I could just imagine, like, that's the fun part. It's similar to when you get the same social post every March Madness where it's in the second round and it's like there's two brackets that are still perfect. I feel like that's a similar sort of vibe if the U.S. Gino's holding the soccer ball right now. From like the social media advertising execution now going into the World Cup, is that kind of on the docket?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some follow-up content coming out for sure. Calling out the teams we're playing in Group D. So that'll come out game days, which will be super fun. Eliza is a riff machine, so it's all off the cuff. We had to cut most of it. We couldn't say it literally anywhere, but we got some good stuff coming out.
Yeah, I mean, so I think when we were sort of learning about how the World Cup tournament works and the rules and what the US would need to do to continue, if they make it out of this first round, I think the next game, we're looking at the schedule, will be on July 4th. We were like, oh my God, like, when you were talking about a case study, it's like if they could play July 4th, obviously with the story we have with Jeep being sort of an America 250 sponsor, we got really excited about that. And I think obviously, I don't know what sort of, if FIFA has the sort of same sway that NFL referees sometimes have, and they can try to coax America along the way to try to make that July 4th game happen. But yeah, I think the more we looked into it, and I think we just got really excited to actually, watch soccer and see what America can do.
I have one last question. With this one about just
the
like
little flip's nice.
This is staying on. The wig stays on
all day.
The cars are a tough category. I think we once talked to someone who said that the automobile industry to advertise and do marketing in is one of the toughest. Like if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere kind of thing. For you all, what's the guiding philosophy for the Jeep relationship to make sure that Jeep doesn't get lost in culture and relevance?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's such an iconic brand. Like Jeep really does stand for something. It's been around. Everybody has always wanted a Jeep as a kid. Like they're just cool. So it's almost just leaning into that. Like we don't want to make the brand worse. It's just like, let's keep it up. Let's keep it top of mind, and let's do some crazy stuff so people remember how cool these cars are.
I love it. Jeremy, anything to add there?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, like, I think if you watch TV and the amount of car things you see and just how they kind of blur together, I think what's been great about the Highdive and Jeep partnership is that sort of finding a very sort of specific point of view and not being afraid to have an opinion, to have a certain tonality that sets them apart. And especially when it came to something like this, that was, talking about, the birth of the country and trying to find a relevant way of being patriotic, but also tie into soccer, in a way that is sort of accessible to everyone. And I think the fact that, our Jeep clients and the brand was willing to sort of not like skirt around, the messaging and just like, as some of our copy said, like just go all in. I think for us, it helped to like have that sort of definitive point of view and the proverbial horsepower to
oh hell yeah,
that. And so it's hard to do for sure. I think we see a lot of automotive stuff that kind of is forgettable. But I think, we've got an agency that keeps pushing for it and clients that are willing to go out on that ledge. I think we've seen how more interesting and relevant it can be.
Proverbial horsepower. That is going in my Instagram bio immediately.
Actually, my band's name, so you can't use that.
Before we let you go, I just want to put one quick plea. If the U.S. is to win, I just think that maybe, everyone named George Washington and then also Jack and Gino can get a Jeep.
Maybe we can talk to some people. We know some people.
Okay. Well, I think that it's just something to consider. I'm just going to put my name in the hat. Gino, anything from you?
It was my favorite car growing up as well. General Dwight D. Eisenhower cited it as one of the 4 pieces of equipment most vital to Allied success in general. 650,000 Jeeps were produced, making it the first mass-produced 4-wheel vehicle.
Is that what you've been doing this whole time?
Yeah, I've been just doing some homework.
Deep dive research.
You guys can chat about the campaign. I'm looking at the history of the brand.
How about that? I didn't realize General Eisenhower.
And my favorite George Washington quote for you all: "Gentlemen, you will permit me to put me." Gentlemen, you will permit me to put on my spectacles, for I have grown not only gray, but almost blind in the service of my country. George Washington, first president of the United States.
Well, gentlemen, thank you both so much for joining the show. If you're named George Washington out there, keep an eye out. You have a reason to cheer for the United States, even more than you would have already.
That's right.
Yeah, first game tomorrow night.
First game tomorrow night.
Showtime.
Keep those legs on. It's good luck.
Yeah, website is wranglersforwashingtons.com. But yeah, if you know any George Washingtons, if you have cousins, aunts, friends, ex-boyfriends, look them up, tell them where to go.
Yeah, that's right. We'll let them know. Thank you both so much for joining. That is the crew at Highdive working with Jeep. for George Washington's Jeeps. I'm keeping the wig on the rest of the show.
I can't keep it.
Are you getting itchy?
I'm getting a little
itchy. Uh-oh, hair. This hair is a nightmare.
It actually looks pretty good.
Look at that. Is that a faux hawk you got going? It looks great. You look great, man. You look great. How about that? You look good in the Jeep too. How about that?
I would take the doors off in the summertime. Take the hood off too. Have a surfboard somewhere. That's me.
Speaking of surfboards, there's an agency based in LA, Gino. It's INNOCEAN. And this is probably a first in advertising news history, where we will be revealing live on the show the first ever head of growth for INNOCEAN USA. Why it matters, Gino?
Why?
I mean, this is an Ad Age A-list member from this past year, Ad Age A-list awards. And a big reason why is because of their growth as an agency. You know, they were born as the kind of the in-house sort of agency for Hyundai, and now they're growing and expanding beyond that, of course, and doing extremely well. So we've got Leslie Barrett, who's the president of INNOCEAN USA, and also the new head of growth. How do we want to do this? Yep, let's just do it. Let's bring him in. It is Crystalline Portwood is your new head of growth for INNOCEAN USA.
Yes, drum roll.
Crystalline Portwood, congrats on the big reveal here. How you feel today now that the news is launched?
I mean, is this the Price is Right? I feel like I just won.
That's right. You won. Come on down.
Look at that background there. You gotta love it there. So, I mean, give us some background on you, Crystalline. Where do you come from? What do the folks at home need to know?
What do they need to know? Well, I come from heaven. And no, I've got about 10 years in kind of the radio side of the world, and then another 10 years on the agency side. Most recently with Dentsu iProspect, and now I'm into the independent side of things. So very, very excited.
Well, it's a pleasure, and Leslie, you're the prez, you're El Presidente. How are you feeling about this? How is the team feeling about it? I imagine, you know, you do your due diligence, you do the interviews. What about Crystalline stood out in the interview process?
I think, you know, there were so many things. If I'm honest, we talked to a lot of people, and she, I think for us, was really always the choice, you know. And I think what really stood out is obviously she's you can feel it already, her warmth. She's incredibly smart. She does her own dishes. She's consistently beat her targets, which is a good thing when you're looking for somebody who's going to head up growth. And then one thing that I really love about her is that she was trained at Second City. And that just, you know, it means ultimately that you're collaborative. It means that you listen really, really hard. And it means that you build on other people's ideas. And so when somebody comes at growth from that perspective, it's good for everybody. So she's somebody who helps other people grow along the way and helps people be their best selves. So she was kind of a perfect choice for us. And yeah.
Gino, are you surprised that the head of growth had a little stint with Second City?
I like that.
Do you
Improv
think
is important.
Yeah.
And, you know, that ability to move and groove. And I just want to say, Jack, I just got an update that over 100 people are watching this live right now.
Live
so people
on YouTube.
are excited.
Yeah, you know, it's
Just
on
on
YouTube.
YouTube. So people are excited for this news.
This is why we do it
Sorry
live.
to interrupt.
Okay, Crystalline, okay, let's talk about the Second City stint, the little training that you got there. How are you going to bring that? How important is it to make people laugh on a consistent basis? Because to me, that's all I have ever cared about.
Right. I mean, I should ask you guys the same thing. Like, you could come in and train our agency on the improv of being live on television 4 or 5 days a week.
Crystalline, there's someone behind you right now. Don't turn around, but there. Here we go. This is
Greetings, forefathers.
That is Jason Sperling, ladies and gentlemen.
Jason Sperling has joined the show. He has hopped in. He's in the background. That's not a green screen, people. Crystalline, when Jason kind of just pulls up on you like that, does that make you feel better or worse about your decision?
You know, he's one of the reasons I joined, but not because of you think. When I asked him what kind of mode of communication he best works within, whether that be text or Teams, email, believe it or not, he told me that mouth to face was his way of communication. And I thought, this is for me. He was like, well, that's terrible news. I'll take the job.
What the hell does mouth to face communication mean, Jason?
What does it mean?
It means words come out of your mouth and they go into the other person's face.
Whether or not they make it to the brain is one thing, or at least they get to the face.
Just right to the face.
Faith and whether or not they move forward is Crystalline's decision.
I love it.
Unreal.
Nice to
Nice
see
show.
you.
Good
What
to
a
see you,
cameo.
Stacey.
We love her. We love El Presidente. La
We love
Presidente.
you.
Love you.
Incredible. What a cameo. I want to ask about now, I kind of mentioned it, but INNOCEAN kind of in a little bit of a transformation period by, of course, staying very close with Hyundai as that founding client brand partner that the agency was founded out of, but now starting to really grow the business. So can we talk about that, how the agency is transforming right now? Because it's an interesting kind of case study.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can both share this answer, but we've been really preparing. We've been preparing for this growth. We've got a very clear vision. The agency has rallied behind it. And we've already seen some growth, as we've talked about in previous conversations. But yeah, I mean, we've just really been investing in our people, because we believe when you invest in your people, and also obviously technology as well, and have the right balance there, then naturally as your people grow, the company's going to grow, and the other way around. So that's really what we've been doing, is getting ourselves set up and ready for it. And so now we believe it's the time to obviously hire CP, but to go after it.
So CP.
Yeah, are we good? Are we at that point? Can we call you CP?
We're at CP now.
Yeah, friends, very
Okay.
close friends.
Cool.
So CP, what's the first order that you are going to make for your new business journey here? What's the first order of operation for you all?
Well, the reason I truly joined INNOCEAN was not for another job, not for another, challenge. It was really to surround myself with people that were going to make me better. And what I've learned most about the team in the short 3 or 4 days that I've been here, is this is a really unique group of people. It really is it's the people you want to be around and hang out. They're real humans. So the first item of business is really get to know the people, get to know what they're passionate about, and then translate that into kind of our growth trajectory, and get people excited about, joining the pitch teams, and, being able to grow within INNOCEAN as well. When I think about kind of the clients that we want to go after, I mean, we're built on probably one of the most complex industries in our industry, right? The auto industry. So we move with agility and speed, and it's the most demanding industry that we have out there. So if we can translate that to some other new clients that match that kind of cadence, such as financial services or direct to consumer retail, I think that's where we want to kind of point our sales.
Yeah, and I think the thing I'd add to that is that we were born from challenger brands, right? And we also are a challenger brand, INNOCEAN itself. So we understand challenger brands, and we love a good challenger story. So
yeah, of course. I wanted to bring a little story. You guys, very famous background image for the A-list, where you guys are literally in the ocean. It was real. It was real, and we talked about it on this show. But Crystalline, I think there's the photo that people can see it. Look at them, they're in the ocean. And that's a real photo. We saw the behind the scenes video, confirmed by Breaking and Entering stamp. And I think CP had something a little bit similar. If we can pull that up to, yes, commemorate. Look at, she's next to a sandcastle right here.
I built that with my own 2 hands and that shovel.
And the shovel. That's right.
That's just a secret.
We're showing the behind the scenes video. Those people were just there to make it seem like it wasn't just.
It wasn't me. Busted. Yeah.
That's so cool. Talk to me. What was the decision behind the sand?
Yeah, the creative decision.
Yeah, what's the creative direction on this?
The story there is, I think I was asked for like a professional headshot, and I thought, no way are we going to do an announcement with just a boring old headshot, right? This is INNOCEAN. We are bound here at the beach together. And I was obsessed with seeing the behind the footage with the team a couple months ago when they built the couch adage shoot. And I thought, let's build upon that, right? So our ideas kind of percolated, and the vision of the sandcastle is, nothing great is built from one person, one leader, not one grain of sand, but really an entire team and thousands of grains of sand. So it's really kind of a mantra to what we're going to be building together as a team here.
That is great. That's what you want. Like you want your head of growth, your pitch person to tell that story. I never would have been able to pull that off, but that was a seamless transition from CP there, taking a sandcastle, relating it to the new business process. Gino,
INNOCEAN here. It's in that point now. We're ready for growth. CP joins in and feeling good.
Well, what is it? Let's talk about like right now for an agency. What does it mean to really like create growth for the agency? There's a lot of talk about what the agency model looks like, and how do you think INNOCEAN fits into that and continues to drive growth when maybe there's some consolidation or softening at other parts of the industry?
Yeah, and I think we have a leadership team who has been parts of many different organizations, right? And I think we're in a very specific time in our industry where there's a lot of consolidation, like you mentioned. And I think there's an appetite for brands to have kind of that white glove, independent feel. But the unique thing about INNOCEAN is because we were built with under the Hyundai and Kia brands, we have the pipes, right? Like we didn't start from somewhere small. And we were talking about this last night. There's a lot of independent agencies that started with, the bakery across the street and, grow from there. But we started with a massive, group of people. And now we get to take that experience and that passion and translate that to other organizations that can benefit from our experience. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I also think there's a lot of brands right now who, there's just look around. A lot of people are looking for help and are in trouble. I mean, take even just like GLP-1s. What is that doing to QSR, to all the different things? So there's just an interesting time. It's a complicated time, as you suggested, but it's an interesting time to start to figure out new ways to help brands and grow in different ways.
It's time to grow. That's the theme of this. I feel like we can all grow.
One to grow on.
Let's all grow up. Gino needs to grow up. That's his big issue right now. This guy lacks maturity.
Who laughed at that?
Who laughed? Everyone.
I didn't. That wasn't me.
Was it? We switched the screen
CP.
over. Was that CP or Leslie laughing?
Sure.
Laughed at
You
that.
don't lack maturity.
You can be honest. It's okay.
You with that hat on. Can you talk about your hat for a minute? We're all just acting like nothing's weird, or we're all acting natural.
Well, Gino's very immature, and I had to point that out. He's not. He doesn't have the veteran nature that I do. But
well, Gino's going to give you a run for your money. So go ahead, let's do it, Gino.
I want to ask about. There it is. Oh God, here we go.
Oh, I'm Jack.
Okay.
I'm so cool and funny. I talk and whatever.
Yours seems like it has less volume.
Yeah, well, that's his fault. My last question. I want to ask you were on Ad Age A-list, a big recognition. How do we step that up now? I mean, it's lonely at the top. Some say it's lonely at the top of the sandcastle. So I guess Leslie CP, I imagine the vibes are good at the agency. How do you keep that momentum going? It's like, it's one thing to get there. It's another thing to really be able to stay at a position where you're at the top tier of ad agencies across the country.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. And, a lot of the things that we've been doing have been kind of quietly, historically anyways, just as an agency, we've been a quiet sort of brand in general. But there are some things. Q3, I think, is going to be big for us. And also going into 2027, we've got a really significant piece of creative work that's going to come out in 2027. We'll be able to talk about it in mid-July when the embargo lifts. But I really do think it's going to change how brands think about connecting with their audiences in some ways. So that is a really exciting piece. And then, we don't really talk about this because nobody needs another AI plug, but we've been also quietly spending last year working on building our modular AI platform that's going to help us really, really solve business problems very deeply in new and different kind of ways. So that's also another thing coming in Q3. And then other than that, it's really just keep investing in your people, keep listening to clients and trying to help them solve their business problems. This weird shit's about to happen.
Yeah.
What weird shit's
What's going on? There it is. Oh, here we go. Mouth to face. Mouth to face.
Mouth to face.
Mouth to face. Jason, of course, joining in.
Watch out.
Watch out. When that embargo lifts, I got our calendars marked for this embargo lifting in July.
We'll bring the show over there.
Incredible. Always a pleasure. INNOCEAN's new head of growth, Crystalline Portwood, aka CP. Crystalline, congratulations. What a moment for INNOCEAN USA. Growth is on the horizon. Anything you all want to say before we let you go?
Here we come.
Boom.
Here we
But
come.
when we see you and Ken, we want you to tell us, you know who's a challenger? You guys are a challenger.
You absolutely are.
Yeah, so tell us, we want one lesson from you, one piece of advice that you would give us, and we expect to get it when we're in Cannes together.
Or right now.
I would have to think about that. You can't
yeah.
put me on the
Yeah.
spot. We're only allowed to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
We don't.
We don't get put on the spot. We have to put you on. Yeah.
We're giving you time to prep.
Well,
Unlike-
thank you. Appreciate that, Leslie. And Jason, I appreciate as a, scoop to scoop guy kind of here that want to always put someone on the spot. I appreciate you trying to put us on the spot.
Of course. Look out at your seat. I'm gunning for it.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. Come and get it.
It's part of
Thank
our
you
business.
all so much. Congratulations, INNOCEAN USA.
Be on the lookout.
Holy shit. Wow.
Their energy factory.
What a moment. What a show. We had a big time show and it ended with what might be the first time in advertising news history, a live job reveal, hiring reveal.
broadcast television.
Crystalline Portwood is the new head of growth at INNOCEAN USA as they transition from not just becoming Hyundai's agency. They're coming for the whole damn thing, Gino. They're looking to expand, and they got some big stuff, it sounds like, that's going to be embargo lifting in July, so we'll be on top of that for sure.
We will be breaking that for sure. I mean, you got to think about it from the growth perspective. Like, that's a great spot. That's probably one of the most sought after jobs, if you think about it, having the backing from Hyundai, or however that works. I would assume that they don't have to stress too much about.
Well, I remember we talked with them. After they got A-list, and I think that they were saying, like, well, Jason, you brought that point up where you're like, do you really have to try that hard when you're pitching? Because you got Hyundai, so like you're good. And he was like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really talented, creative people. So if you don't try for the pitch, it probably just is a waste of everyone's time. Yeah. But they had mentioned that, but they did. I think back then.
But no, the biggest issue of this industry is insecurity or fear of losing business. It's the fear there. So if there is that platform, the high floor, if you will, it allows people to be more fun, more creative. That's why people go in-house. Right. So the fact that INNOCEAN has that and they can go externally, find their own clients that they want, it's a perfect combo. I'm liking that beach vibe too, Jack. I don't know.
Well, I think that's kind of what we hear from independent agencies. They get their big burst, they get a bunch of new business, or the other thing, like you get a big project, and then you start taking on projects and clients for the money, when maybe it's not the best fit. You spend a lot more time with that. It kind of takes you away. You don't have the discipline because, of course, like you got to make money.
You got to pay. Payroll is a thing. Rent is a thing.
But when you have Hyundai, when you're born out of a brand and you kind of have that backing and that security, it just gives you so much options. And I guess for Hyundai,
smart for them too.
It's smart for them too. And we talked about that in the past with Leslie. Hyundai, it's smart because you're letting your agency go out and explore their creativity with other clients as well. And you can take insights from other industries and inspiration and then bring that to the Hyundai client, right?
No complacency there. Like if you're just working on for one brand the whole time,
well, this is
stale.
Yeah,
it's stale. This prevents staleness.
That's what you hear from creatives a lot, like drawing inspiration from other industries. Don't draw inspiration from the people that are in your category. Eli Lilly right now is doing this really well, where they're drawing inspiration from like Nike ads because they're working with Wiley and Kennedy, and they're bringing that to the pharmaceutical. Are you doing the Johnny Ham check? Gino, your big takeaways from the show. What'd you think as we wrap things up and then go into the post show and talk about our weekend plans?
I mean, Ken Giddon, owner of Rothmans, on the show, has been sponsoring us now close to a month here. Just a business owner, loves advertising, owns the leading menswear store in New York City. Joined us today. That was the big reveal.
Gino, he said, quote, I'm a frustrated ad guy with no boss. That's
the perfect. That's somebody we
amazing.
Love. That's somebody we love here. We talked about George Washington's across the U.S. have the potential to get a free Jeep if the U.S. team wins the World Cup. That was made by Highdive. That's why we're in these damn wigs. That was Rick Ewing and Jeremy Adams, and then of course Leslie and Crystalline over at INNOCEAN. takeaways. I don't really know, Jack. What are your takeaways?
The automotive industry is a beast in itself. We got the World Cup coming up. You got Ken Giddon, resilience was the name of his game. If you're going to be an entrepreneur or just even working any sort of marketing, so many things that can go wrong, but if you can keep moving forward.
I know what we're doing now. We're doing takeaways. For Jeep and Highdive, it's trust. 10 years plus working together, trust. And then for me, with the INNOCEAN, it's like those people like to work together.
Yeah,
it's
they're
like,
having
or work
fun.
by a beach.
They're having fun.
They have good vibes. Something's going on over there. They like each other. I think that matters.
It's good vibes. They got a good thing going there. It seems like the crew is behind each other. I think they have energy, enthusiasm, and if nothing else, that can get you very far. And why wouldn't you?
Leslie needs to yell at people more, it seems like.
Here we go.
That's my take. They're having too much fun over there. That's the breaking entering lesson. Just yell at everybody.
Is that your leadership style?
For sure.
Just yell.
For sure. That's what George Washington
Why don't
did.
we check in with the producers here? They were crushing it. JR and Ellie for Casual Thursday.
What is this? Men in Black?
What do we got here? Is this for Rothmans Day? What's Casual Thursday? Looks like you guys are dressed up in some sport coats.
Yeah, it is Casual Thursday. It's a company policy that we've adopted here where just very chill outfits for Thursday. Inspiration from Rothmans. Everybody in the chat, if you go to Rothmans NYC, you can get 10% off with code BREAKING10 or go in store at their Union Park location. Where is it?
Union Square.
Union Square. And the boys will be there tomorrow afternoon if you want to do a little meet and greet. Hopefully it goes better than Drewski's, but go to Rothmans.
Great. JR, we're teaching him well.
He's really good.
Teaching him well.
He's good.
Ellie, thoughts on the show? How was it back there for you?
It was great. We had a record show today. I think we had the most people tune in live that we've ever had. So I think that is the Secret Service difference, and also maybe the INNOCEAN difference. They rolled
deep.
Well, they were probably wondering who the new head of growth was.
Like, I need to know who to email. Yeah. I need to know who to get in touch with if I want to work on a pitch. Yeah. The only way they won't tell anyone.
Yeah, you
they
have to tune in.
You have to tune in. Yeah, tune in.
That would be a great internal communication strategy.
I sometimes think we are the internal communication strategy for some of this agency news.
If you're an agency employee, let us know if you found out about a campaign or a new business win from us before the agency told you. We'd love to hear it.
Svaya is in the LinkedIn chat. She said the wigs are starting to look a little rough. Gino's got a little business in the front, party in the back going right now. I got something going on. Yeah.
Gino, you're gonna have to clip that and post that on your personal.
All right.
Clip that.
Gino, Ellie. We got a big weekend planned. New York City is going to burn to the ground on Saturday. Ellie's talking. She's saying she might host a rooftop party.
Open house.
Hey, what's the deal with that? Can we go?
Yeah, can we go?
Yes.
What's the vibe?
Yes, everyone's invited. Everyone that's watching right now can come to my open house party in my apartment.
That's 40 people watching right now.
So you're going to host everyone to watch the Knicks game on Saturday night.
I'm going to host all of New York City.
Okay. That's great.
What's your address? Come on, drop the address. If you're going to say it, let's go.
Drop the Addy. Ellie will be putting the address on her Snapchat story. The New York Knicks on Saturday, it's going to be insane. JR, what do you got? You excited for the weekend and Knicks?
I am pumped, and I will be at Ellie's apartment on Saturday. So let's go Knicks.
And then tomorrow night we got the U.S. game.
Yeah, the U.S. soccer game. World Cup kicks off today, but the U.S. plays tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Did you know they're adding ads to it? 3-minute hydration breaks?
Right. I saw that. Yeah. Hydration breaks is going to be a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
The options there for an ad are endless, Gino, if you think about a hydration break.
Yeah.
Speaking of hydration breaks, I am going to be drinking a lot.
Oh, whoa. What are you going to drink?
Anything. I'll drink anything. To celebrate the Knicks, celebrate what's going on. It's going to be electric in New York City. I really can't imagine. I think that, if we bring it back to marketing, I'm excited to see what happens, how these brands, now you have 3 days, right?
Do something.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You have 3 days to come up with some way to participate in culture. Damien Escobar, who is an Emmy Award-winning violinist that was on the show yesterday and is also the chief music officer at Havas, said brands don't create culture, they just are lucky enough to be able to participate in it. So Be wise in how you participate in this moment, which will certainly have millions and millions of eyeballs on it.
We'll be watching, and you'll be watching us next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We kick off the show at 11 a.m. Eastern time here on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And don't you worry, if you're just tuning in now, you missed the whole show, but you can watch it on YouTube in about like 10, 15 minutes. We're going to post it there as well as Spotify.
Thank you all so much. We'll see you on Tuesday. Enjoy your weekend. Shout out to Rothmans, taking New Yorkers as they are and dressing them better. Mention Breaking Entering for 10% off, or use code Breaking Entering 10 or Breaking 10 on their website. We'll see you next week.